come free with the duck and an eagle shooting the breeze. From paintball fields to campfire fun, you know the rowdy talk's just begun. Now kick up your feet and pour a glass. We're about to have a blast. We're the rowdy ones. We're the rowdy ones. The rowdy ones.
Welcome back to the Rowdy Ones. We have a really special episode today. One of the players I respect the most in the league as a utility front guy, an attacker, no matter where you put him on the field. He's relentless and a bit of an asshole, but that's okay. Off the field, you know, he's one of my better friends, longtime teammate on Impact, as well as roommates, clinic buddies, travel compadres, and you know, we could sit here and talk about paintball for days. We could talk about stories we're not allowed to talk about for days. We could talk about travel for days. So, you know, I'm just excited to sit down and have a talk with you. You know, you're still just as much of a wild man on the field, but you know, you are getting older now, so you're settling down. You know, you're a papa now, just like myself. So, you know, it's cool to see you go through all these stages in life, kind of at the same time I am, and still see that tenacity on the field. So welcome to the show, JC, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Excited.
Yeah, you got all the accolades, dude.
Yeah, well,
Dude, Andy's the, you know, only person in paintball that ever broke my jaw.
Oh,
hey, there's still time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I usually break myself. I don't let other people break me.
Let's start with that story. I want to hear it.
Okay.
Well, we don't need to tell the full story. I would like to hear some of JC's perspective.
We're in Huntington Beach. I don't even know what year. I guess this was in.
It was 2010, so it was actually, it was the
Yeah.
first time I just had joined the team, right?
Yeah.
So I had been to a few practices. We went and we won the Phoenix event, which was its own kind of wild story from the start to finish of that event. And then, you know, a week later, I think it was, or maybe it was a little after that, we were playing in Huntington Beach. And, you know, this just started with a drive down the Pacific Coast Highway and ended with a trip to the emergency room.
Yeah, that happens. No, we were just all classic. You know, we were younger. Those were our younger days. We were drinking heavily, and I believe how it was going is Ryan was in cahoots with Zach, and they were battling, I think, for 2 hours straight or something like that.
You know, we were all, you know, having some tests of strengths. We'll say. Just a little friendly rumbles. I think, you know, Zach's finger at one point in time ended up completely backwards, and he's just holding up a mangled finger.
Now, let me preface this. I was not part of these festivities, but Ryan thought I was. And at one point, I believe he ended up on my back. And I think I said, Ryan, I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to fight. And that went right over his head in that moment. And I think it wasn't anything crazy. I think I flipped you over, slammed, and then all of a sudden he got up, he looked at me, and he was giving me the predator. It was like, you know, and we were all drunk. And we're like, I think you're fine. You're probably fine. But he was, you know, had to hold his jaw together. And when he let go, it'd go, and blood would squirt out into my face. And we're like, no, you're good. You just need sleep. And then we're like, yeah. Eventually someone stepped in, voice of reason, probably Zane. And then
I think, you know, the voice of reason at that point in time was me.
Adrenaline going through you.
Yeah, I had a bunch of adrenaline going through me. And
a lot of sobering up.
I definitely cannot sleep this off. So you guys are crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty similar to what happened. I think your bystander status was maybe slightly over exaggerated. You know, you're always picking and prodding at things. So let's not just pretend like completely innocent. But yeah, you basically were wrestling, and I had you in a pretty good spot, but I was pushed into a chair, so I had like no leverage, and you know,
a judo chop.
He wasn't about to,
you know when Charlie Murphy
wasn't about
kicks him. You know when he kicks him into the across the road.
He wasn't about the friend tap out. So instead, he, like you said, he body slammed me over his shoulder, and I landed jaw first to the echoing crack. And I was like, well, I'm either paralyzed or my jaw's broken. I was like, okay, my jaw's broken. And I think they had to draw straws for who had to wake Bart up and tell them that I was broken. And,
I believe that went as Bart, don't get mad.
It started with don't get mad. And then Bart drove me to the hospital right there in Newport, and it covered in blood up at the emergency room. I'm like, what are you here for? It's like, I broke my jaw. They're like, jaw's really hard to break. I was opening up just like Jason says.
Check it out.
Like, your jaw's broken. I was like,
I know.
Thank you to take care of this for me. And that was interesting because it was a pretty complicated surgery. So they had to wait until the right surgeon and the right time. So that was on a Sunday night, and I didn't get that surgery until like Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah,
but
pretty well.
The next 3 days on 0 sleep and a lot of liquid Vicodin.
Yeah. And how in Ryan's determination, of course, we played the next event that weekend.
I know, and his doctor came to watch him play.
Yeah, and he had foam. What do you have? Like a foam in your mask, a little bit,
it was like a
wired shut.
Case. Yeah, it was all wired shut. It was a speed feed like lid case.
Yeah.
So the foam was like perfect, and I put it in there. And then a bunch of people like told on me, and the rest were like, "Oh, you can't have padding." It was like, my
jaw broken.
My jaw's broken. They're like, "Oh, okay, you probably shouldn't be playing."
I think the best part about it is because we got used to him going, yelling, and he'd yell across the field, and you'd be like, and be like, okay, Dorito 2, back right. Like, we understood him. People were like, what the fuck? How are you hearing him?
And I don't know how they code. So it was like the perfect codes because no one else could understand. It was a lot of effort, and there was extra hand signals. The snakes were easy. The Doritos numbers. But some things I was like, I don't know how they understood that, but sometimes it's just that little bit of extra effort on the communicating part, but also the receiving part of that people overlook in paintball all the time. It's people are always like, oh, I said this, I did this. It's like, yeah, but we weren't having a conversation. We weren't looking at each other, connecting. And that's where like communication falls apart and where people don't really understand where it falls apart.
That happens all the time in paintball. You go, well, I screamed it 20 times, and you're like, well, did anyone hear it? Did anyone repeat it? And that's a classic.
And
it's like, well,
on the sidelines, sometimes it's like you're watching and you're like, well, you said it like twice. No one said anything back. In your mind, it's 20 times, but it doesn't always come across that way. And then if no one says it back, you don't just give up.
No.
But that was really the start of me, knowing JC and becoming like, best friends with him. And, after that, we spent a lot of time, traveling and, growing up together. So it was a lot of fun stories like that usually didn't end so poorly. But I think Zach might have drawn the short straw. It might have been Zane. But so when he was pretty nervous about waking Bart up that night.
What's crazy is I've heard this story, didn't know the details. All right, JC, I probably heard this story 2-3 times, maybe. You might have told it on the podcast, but it's never gone this deep. So it's kind of cool to actually be like, oh, okay, you're the dude that broke Rowdy's jaw. Get to put the pieces together. But it's always like
he's a tough little guy, and he's stubborn too.
Stout and fierce.
Yeah,
coming
from another stubborn guy. 2 stubborn guys.
It's easy to pick them out.
We got a hot room full of stubborn guys tonight. I'll tell you that much. So
you don't know how too well, but he's a bit of a character himself.
That's a nice way to put it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very nice.
But before we get into too many, fun stories and stuff, I definitely want to congratulate you on, your most recent win. So
thank you.
That's always an accomplishment. I think the league's incredibly hard to be in now, and to still see you out there attacking and wherever they put you on the field is like, it's not like a proud moment for me because I did anything to help it, but it's just something I enjoy seeing my friends succeed. If I can't be the one succeeding and still doing it, their unique way. I've said it a lot of times on this podcast. Like, I look at paintball players a little differently. The ones I enjoy the most aren't ones that are necessarily by the book 100% of the time, but guys who just kind of play their way unapologetically so. And you're that guy. So
appreciate it.
And I like seeing the success. And it's fun seeing you on the snake side, but you're just as potent on the Dorito side, and that's what makes you unique as a player over all these years. I don't think there's many players that are always a one, always a weapon, but not always like dictated into a spot.
Yeah.
Did you start that practice in the snake right away, or did you play?
I started on the Dorito side.
I assume.
Yeah. So, and then eventually they were just like, you know what, let's flip. And to give credit, LJ was started in the snake. And then, just they're like, let's try you guys on their side. And we just both clicked better on those other sides. So, which was, And LJ had a great event on the Dorito side. So, so it was good. It was good decision.
Well, you know what's crazy? I don't know. It was probably 3 to 4 weeks before the event. I had Tyler on, and I was talking to him, and I was like, man, y'all are just there. You're there. You're in the finals. It's consistent, whether it's you're sweeping through the – what's that?
Turncoat, man. Butter and Tyler.
Tyler's my boy. Chad is my boy. Connor is my boy. If we're not there, no. If we're not there, I want my boys to win. And where are my boys at?
Yeah.
Right after he just said he likes watching his friends win. He's like, fuck my friends.
And then he's like, well, my friend in the corner over here is a turncoat now because he wants his friends to win. I'm like,
man, it's a devil and angel shoulder situation.
No. But anyways, what's funny is I was talking to Tyler and I was like, dude, it's consistent. I was like, whether you're blowing through the prelims or you're fighting your
way before you get too long, I think the difference is you're saying this pre-tournament. I said it post-tournament when we're already knocked out. That's the vibe.
Now he's trying to play.
No, I was just wondering why I didn't like it, and that's
okay.
Semantics. Yeah,
kind of.
No, but and we almost got knocked out of the second event early, so we almost got 18th, right, or whatever we would have got. So
we got 19th. It didn't feel that good.
No, never. No, you don't want to be there.
No.
And so, I think paintball is classic. It's hard to win these events. You need luck. You need things to go your way. And you need to play good. You need to play well enough and understand the field and adapt. And some teams you got to play different. And just so, we've been clawing there, and just nice to not get a second.
Yeah, seconds are pretty horrible. I thought the Tim curse came back to you.
Yeah, we had a lot of seconds.
Well, that's what happens when you have a good team with a lot of depth and you're always there. You remember the seconds more. I mean, like you said, it's hard to win, but being consistent, across field layouts and across years gives you those abilities to win because you're always in those positions. But too many seconds in a row can eat at you and start making you question yourself in those big moments, and that's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
But that's where a team like your guys, you have so much depth that I like that you have the depth, but you're willing to ride hot hands when they emerge, whenever they emerge, right?
Yeah, you got to.
I do want to ask, and it's not like I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, but like with as deep of a roster as y'all have, right? Like everyone on there's a stud, right?
Yeah.
Like who is your favorite person when you and them are on the field at the same time? You're like, oh yeah. No, it's going to be bad for these guys on the other side. Like, who is that person for you?
It's a hard question. I guess it always kind of changes. Mm-hmm. And like this event, we had a couple good times with Nick, because Nick's in a good spot. Nick's usually, if it's me and him, he's usually, because he's a middle guy and I'm up in the snake. So, I'd rather him up in the middle. We can pull stuff out than if you look back and I'm in the 50 snake and there's this guy way up back in a corner or something, right? Those are tough to pull back, but with a middle guy alive, you can always win the game.
Yeah, especially a field like that where can be a little crafty, but more than not, he's there to protect you.
Yeah.
And to help you.
Well, and when shit goes down on the other side, you're not getting back door because you can say, hey, listen, I'm going to go forward. You worry about that side. Whereas no one else on the field can really do that, right?
Yeah, so, stop the bleeding for a second. Let me handle this.
Yeah. We're gonna lose if win or lose. Let me go forward, but at least we're not getting shot in the back.
And on this field in particular, like a strong middle presence early could dictate the whole pace of the game.
Yeah.
If you got that first kill, you allowed your snake guy to, get to the 50 or past without any worry. If you got the first kill on the snake side and then could trade with that middle, it just opened up the entire game instantly. So it was probably, to me, the most important spot on this field. It was like in essence of the old W, but a little more important the way the field was laid out for how critical it was to hold the snake and have any eyes over there. But
it was kind of cool too how people decided to play it, because some people, they thought the strategy was to go straight there off the break. Some people used the tower. Some people delayed and waited 30 seconds and then tried to get up there. Some teams tried to go to the snake and lock it off real quick to stop teams from going up the middle. So it was a pretty interesting field. Some teams double
go up fast and then come back.
Yeah. It was kind of neat. It wasn't just standard run up there. There was a lot of just trades, but there was also a lot of craftiness going on, which was kind of.
There's a lot of like bad decision trades too that didn't happen because people just assumed they were going to be up there, and you saw a lot of people just turning a corner into nothingness.
Yeah. Well, we suckered in, Uprising because we played it so often. In the finals, there was one point we didn't play it and they just sent someone through and wasted a body. Yeah. They just assumed we were going to be up there. And then, the one time we don't go up there, they run through and it's like, oh, and that could be the point, right?
Yeah, that's a game within the game too, because it worked out well for you that time, right? But had it been any of those other points, like worked out well for them, right? Well, so it is a chess match and it's all timing, and you have to kind of live and die by your decisions, knowing that you don't have all the information.
Yeah.
Well, we had some of the biggest moves up the middle was against us. We got 4-packed, I think 2 or 3, 4 times, and it's like, God damn it, we weren't ready, or just like teams were. Any
decent Bart attacks during this?
No, he's pretty calmer now. There's not a lot of you really got to fire him up. We got to really be fucking up, right? I think he's kind of
every once in a while. I still saw a couple, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." I think the first time Chad was on the team, like he got T-shirts with that.
Yeah, as long as you're not getting clipboarded or poked, I think you're doing okay.
The poking finger's got to be sore by now. He would always double up with them too for the strength.
Reinforcement of it.
Bart's the man. He's the fiery competitor through and through. So I love that. That's pure emotion coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that
through his fingertips.
Yeah, you're it's frustrating when you're on the receiving end of it.
Outside, I know that. Yeah,
it does make people. Oh, of course you do.
Yeah,
of course you do. But it does make people stop in their tracks, listen, kind of reassess, and it can kind of.
Well, it's like a coach in any sport, right? You see those times where it's like the players aren't doing it, the point's not getting across. Sometimes you just need that burst of emotion for everyone to go, "Oh, okay, fuck, let's bring this all together. Let's do what we're saying and preach."
And sometimes the exact thing that gets said doesn't even matter. It's just the change of emotion and the intensity of the situation. You're like, oh yeah. Something wasn't going right. I don't know if you have the answers, but you're right. We have to reassess this and move on.
Yeah.
How long you been playing? When did you start playing paintball?
Oh shit. Early 2000s, like 99 to 2001, somewhere in there. Nice. I don't even fully know where. So yeah, maybe earlier. I'm trying to think. You know what? I actually don't know. I would have been like 13 or something like that. So, yeah, it's been a while.
So when did you go pro?
2006. So this is 20 years. So
wow, dude.
Yeah,
about 18 more years than he could drive.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Where'd you end up? Not to be all interview because we're not.
No,
I wanted to know more about you. Real quick, pause in it. What's everyone drinking? You got a beer. What you got?
Oh, I got a drink. I got a cider from Okanagan. That's where I live, in Okanagan.
Oh, nice.
You seen the Sea Monster yet?
No, yeah, that's not quite. Keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, you got to
Steve.
Yeah, is that? I know you've seen Steve.
Yeah, I can find Steve.
That might be your thumbnail picture. I might get you and Steve looking at each other.
Do it. What are you sipping on, Rye?
Just some Widow Jane, Applewood rye. It's okay.
I've always eyeballed the Widow Jane. I've never bought it though.
It's very mediocre, but it's a decent price sometimes.
Dude, my buddy just put me on. I was like picking me out 3 bottles. I was like under 100 each, and he was like, "Dude, have you had this?" And it was a Weller Special Reserve. Apparently, it was the first weeded whiskey.
Weeded.
And it's
What do you mean?
35 bucks. No, it's not all wheat. It still has corn in it. Like, ignore this man. But it does have a wheat bill in the mash bill. So yes. But 35 bucks, Weller Special Reserve, and it is fire. So good.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that, you know.
Some
Why
ad
you being
space.
a-
There we go.
Why are you being a punk ass, Rye?
Because I was saying.
I like it. You guys are both drinking man drinks, and I'm just drinking a cider.
A cider sounds nice, you know.
Yeah.
Cider is delicious, especially if you do a snake bite with it.
Ooh, yeah.
Guinness and then
One of my favorite alcohol related stories with you is still probably how it was with Olive Impact, but you know when we were up in the lake house and we got the one costume party sponsor.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got a crate of beers,
Yeah,
or a skid of beers.
and it was great. It's good partners, you know, someone in Anheuser-Busch, and they sponsored us, but we had to go down to like a local liquor store to pick it up, and we show up there. And we're like, oh, we're here to pick this up. They're like, yeah, it's this skid of stuff. And it says here you don't have to pay for it. I don't really know
what's going on, but here you go. Oh, yeah, that's
VIP.
great.
We're VIPs, okay? So
Yeah. And then we went back and made like a throne out of it and had a good party.
And then proceeded to drink all of it.
nice.
Yeah, I think there was a few Bud Light limes left over for the boat the next day.
I
Lost
used
soldiers.
I used to cut. Oh,
Well, they gave us too many Bud Light limes, and I think we all put ourselves on like you had to drink 3 a day.
There was a quote.
Yeah.
Have you had your Bud Light lime yet?
And we kept tabs because a couple of people were trying to be snaky about it, you know. Because after one, you're like, I don't need another Bud Light lime.
no, it is
And
not a great lime beer.
And we're out there.
Too
you
much
know,
lime. Too much.
doing
This was
pretty fun cliff dives, and it was brand new when it came out too. So it wasn't a bunch of other stuff like that.
Dude, I used to come home with so many Rockstar energy drinks. I would just I eventually made a sign and I set out cases in front of my driveway. Free.
From your
Just-
wakeboarding days.
Yeah. I was like, free. I was like drinking 4 or 5 of these things a day. And I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like, this is
Probably good for your health. Get these out
it's
of here.
great.
I have a similar story. I must have still been in high school, but my buddy Matt, who I went to his birthday party to first play paintball, and I was 12. He was working at this ski shop, and they dropped off a skid of Red Bull before it came out for this concert or something that was going on, and no one ever came to pick it up. So we had a skid of Red Bull for that winter, and it was too much. It's too much Red Bull.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
We'd be going down the mountain when it was closed, getting chased by people, the ski patrol on snowmobiles, getting kicked out.
But you had wings. They couldn't catch you.
Yeah, they caught us a couple of times. They're like, "Give us your pass." We're like, we don't have passes. They're like, "Give us your names." We're like, "Nope."
I don't have a name.
We'll just outweight you for a little bit.
Mr. Red Bull.
Yeah, dude.
I had 24 cases at one time. I was just like, can't do this.
Yeah.
I always thought Red Bull
Or Rockstar, I mean.
Oh
Not
yeah.
Red Bull.
With Red Bull, I always thought that when we'd go to Asia and stuff, and they'd have the real syrupy Red Bull. I always thought that was just a rip off of Red Bull, but Red Bull ripped them off for everything. Their logo, their colors,
Yeah.
literally everything. That's
There's a
not the way
Taste of their own
happen with
medicine, hey?
IPs.
Yeah.
finally someone did it.
Yeah.
Now, in Switzerland, trying to think, I think it has booze in it. In this Red Bull that they have over there. Bro, you want to talk about kicking tires and lighting fires? I mean, it'd do it to you.
Well, yeah, Red Bull vodkas used to be a go-to back in the day. But you drink 6 of those, you're like, I don't know if I'm drunk or my heart's going to explode, but I'm having fun.
Probably a little bit
Dying
of both.
one way or the other.
So yeah, so it's been kind of convenient for, my career. You're going on 20 years pro too, but the way that paintball has kind of progressed, because in our early years when we had all the, expendable time, we were able to play everything. There's, times where even when me and you were playing together, we were playing, you know, Europe, 2 American leagues, going to Australia, going to South America, teaching clinics everywhere. And then like COVID happened, they changed the European rules. Pro teams couldn't go over in full anymore. Right as the time where we were getting older and having kids, and probably couldn't have been gone as much anyway. So that worked out well. But looking back, like I miss traveling over there. But even I know now it wouldn't be the exact same as it was before. But like looking back, what were some of your favorite trips traveling? Because I don't think it's an experience that a lot of players ever get, but more so that there's not as many opportunities now as there was.
Well, even back in the day, I feel like there was only a handful, there was 10, 20 guys that were actually consistently traveling everywhere. Because I think part of it was people had to know you, they had to want you, but you had to be willing, right? There were some guys that probably got asked and they were probably like, no, I can't do it. So you kind of got this pool of guys that you would go somewhere and you'd be like, oh, hey, Ryan's here.
And then you're making new friends with European teams, more connections, more that. But you're right. Like that's when North Americans, I was going to say Americans, but you don't quite qualify for that. So when North Americans we would all hang out together in a group, even if you were on rival teams or whatever. I think it was really the first time I ever spent any time with JC was the year before Philly ended. And that's probably one of the main reasons.
We saw you and Tim at everywhere we went, right? We're like, oh, you guys again, right? And like, so
get over here and have a beer with us.
Yeah. You guys like beer? We like beer.
Yeah. But then that European connection for me probably really led to, a 4-year change in my American paintball career too.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many trips, obviously. A couple of them, stand out. Greece was fun. I think a lot of times, even the trips that were not
the Battle of the Nations in Greece that first night was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
You can tell that story.
What was it? That was pretty.
We're basically just walking back to our hotel after a night out, and we were going down an alley, and we found 100 giant cardboard tubes that were fabric rolls or something. Like they were heavy duty.
Think of tubes. Yeah, but they're almost like a
much thicker.
Like wrapping paper tube, but indestructible.
And
so like a heavy duty shipping tube.
Yeah, but they weren't for shipping. They were probably like fabric rolls or something like that for an industrial complex.
Oh, like the rolls that come in on a weed fabric and shit that's rolled up. Oh, so okay, we've set the tone.
So there's 3 Canadians, 2 or 3 Americans, and 3 Greeks walking down this alley, and then just 100 makeshift weapons.
So teams were already set without setting them. So once everyone found these and we realized we wanted to obviously hit each other, it broke out into an all-out battle. And
I think we might have done it for an hour. We didn't leave until they were all broken. We were sweaty messes. The next day we were just
bruises and welts.
And there was a lot of alliances happening and breaking of alliances.
If your back was turned, you were getting whacked.
So it was the Greeks, Americans, and who else?
The Canadians.
Oh.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't team up and just gang up on the Greeks?
Oh, eventually.
A good portion. I told you we had too many of these tubes to break.
Yeah.
A 6-on-3 wasn't fun for more than a few minutes before you're like, no, this person's getting it.
Y'all should have just
you'd be beating. Yeah. You'd be beating on someone and then someone would be in front of you and you'd be like, oh yeah.
Just leaving a big juicy rib shot for you or something. And we were taking full side swings with these things, stepping into them, and they didn't even always break. They were solid. So we're just using them until they bend, and then you're just dropping them.
Then you grab a new one.
And sometimes you get one that was a little weaker or a little stronger. Really.
y'all do any jousting, like legitimate one-on-one
Beat the hell out of each
jousting?
other.
We had no horses.
Shopping cart. Find shopping carts.
Have
Come
you
on.
been to Europe, Hal?
I have.
I don't even know if they've ever seen a shopping cart.
Boys, lost you for a second.
Oh, you're good.
You're good.
They definitely don't have shopping
We
carts.
could have rode each other.
We could have ridden each other.
Yeah, you could have found a way. Chicken on the shoulders, straight jousting.
It was a good trip, you know. At one point in time, we
Yeah.
lost a Greek dude for like 2 weeks. Just disappeared into the ether. You know.
Oh my gosh. How do you just lose him?
Yeah.
You know, just things happen.
But yeah,
to lose people sometimes.
things happen. But yes, speaking of your question though, like I said, like some of those trips were not paintball, but were related to paintball, where we traveled to event, whether before or after, and then we're like, hey, what's close? Like let's go. Like Scotland was awesome.
Took advantage of those, like, you know, $50 Ryanair flights.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we're here. Let's go.
Already, we're either taking a train or a flight somewhere else to another country, somewhere that never has paintball, and we're just going to enjoy, you know, 3-4 days of whatever with each other. Sometimes it would be nature,
shenanigans.
Sometimes it would be cities and shenanigans and bars. Like but yeah, that Scotland trip, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know.
Did y'all go to Edinburgh?
Yeah. We did. My favorite trip with you, maybe outside of like some of like our, you know, month-long epic ones where we went to 14 places. But like Norway was cool because that's like, I've never experienced that trip again, you know, and that was literally, there's no reason to go to where we go unless you're going there to hike.
And base jump.
Yeah.
Norway and Switzerland are like the most amazing places to just huck yourself off a very tall object.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of base jumping from both of, you know, the main attractions we went to, Prick the Stolen, and which is the preacher's pulpit, and then Kerjik stuck in which is you know, that boulder stuck between the two mountains, and those were both fun. But I remember like me and you kind of climbing around the preacher's pulpit where Tom Cruise did, and like all the Boy Scouts of it, like it was like a Boy Scout, like I don't know. There's like 2,000 Boy Scouts there, and they were just like, they'd see us hanging over the edge and be like, oh, just think we're
are they allowed to do that? Yeah, for the gram, baby.
Yeah,
Instagram was new.
Yeah, I lost most of those pictures because we weren't even really putting them up. Those were for us, you know, and then they are lost on some Canon 4-megapixel camera.
I think the cool thing too is when we would travel to some of those places, we always had like one thing that we're like, let's go do that, or let's go see that. So it's like we went to Norway for that, right? It wasn't like, hey, we're in Norway now, what should we do? We're like, no, let's go to Norway and see that. And then the trip just kind of builds around that. And I think sometimes people need to do that. It's just, don't go to a place because you want to go to a place. Find out what you want to do or experience and just go there for that. And then the rest of it kind of will fall into place.
And if you're at a place already, try to find something like weird or unique to that place, even if it's like an hour, 2 hour trip away, and see that. Like, you know, when you're in Prague, there's like a bone church that's like 2 hours away. It's kind of a pain to get to. But like, when else can you go to a church that's made out of like all bones, where the chandeliers are skeletons and it's like creepy? Like, go see unique stuff like that. And you don't always have to be, you know, the most prepared. Like in Norway, we're going on these hikes, and they're like, you know, significant hikes, not like overnight hikes or anything, but they're very uphill, very exposed. And, you know, and we're doing them in like flat toms and like just whatever we were wearing the night before, and like off trail the entire time. And you're seeing other people like struggling with hiking poles and full backpacks and stuff and boots and taking breaks on the trails, and they're like, can you guys just do that? We're like, I don't know, man. We're
doing it. We're doing it. Yeah. And
so
then,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Hal.
No, go ahead, brother.
So go head off. I think we might have lost Justin for a second.
We lost him. I think we lost him.
Well, what were you going to say? Because he probably still hears us and he'll pop back.
I can hear you. I'm back.
Hey, okay, go.
No, you go. You ask a question.
Oh my gosh. No. Tell me about
JC stubborn, please go. JC will remember what
He's the guest. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so the guest is asking you to go, Hal. So quit being like this. This isn't good listening. You're gonna have to edit all this out.
Being like this. All right, I'll edit it.
No, don't edit it. I like being honest with you.
I really want to hear what else you have to say.
I was just going to go into the next place. Like I thought,
Yes.
we did that. We went to Japan before an event.
Yeah, that was that was my last year with us, like the end of the season trip. So we did we went to Japan before we did the Malaysia tournament. So we did like Japan, Kuala Lumpur, then we went to the island, then we went to Hawaii, then the Cancun, then the Puerto Vallarta, then to Sayulita. Like we spent a good bit of time traveling there.
Puerto Vallarta. That place is a little sketchy now.
Yeah,
Not as good as it used to be.
Every place is less sketchy.
Which place?
He was saying Puerto Vallarta is getting more sketchy. I said every place, no matter where you're talking about, is less sketchy when you're with a group of like 6, dudes in good health.
Yeah. Yeah, we were probably intimidating to the locals.
Not easy targets, at least. Like it's definitely different than walking around with your wife or kids or
soft targets.
Yeah. We were the ones screaming and yelling prides and powers and
oh yeah. A lot of chance. The prides and powers, that sounded real racist when you said it, but we were just talking,
Yeah.
We were just talking cool runnings,
Yeah.
I see pride, I see power, and I see a bad mother who don't take crap off no one.
Exactly, those ones.
I got you. I was gonna fill the viewers in.
Beers.
They didn't.
Yeah. But so Japan, that was and like take advantage of when you're there because it could only be a couple days, but there's always more to see. So do a bunch even when you're too tired to want to.
Yeah, don't sleep. Have fun.
Okay. Hey, one sec. I gotta go grab my drinks. I relocated.
Oh, you're good. I was just pouring myself a new one. JC will be right back, but hope everyone enjoys this episode. And who knows how long this one will be, but he will be, a reoccurring guest, I'm sure, because like I told Hal, we have a lot of shared stories and times, and I really respect him as a player. So.
Dude, we gotta do like fun story night. We line up a few different guests, talk about it,
Let's just do that for our 100th episode,
halfway there, baby.
I know. We can crank out like a big, like a 20 guests story. Everyone has their own story to tell, one story per guest, and just see how long it takes.
I'm down. Because we can have quite a few people in the lineup.
Yeah, but if everyone just comes on, tells one story, and then gets off. Oh, we were just talking, like, he was saying, like,
Oh,
what's up, big guy?
Here's my dog.
That computer's holding on by a thread.
It is.
What's up, buddy? He just wants to hang out with Dad, get some showtime.
If I brought Doc up here, he would just start biting everything. He would find socks, and he would just be causing havoc.
Yeah, you said your new guy has a little bit of a foot fetish, huh? He likes some stinky.
Dude. I will take my shoes off from work, okay? They are always hot soup kitchen when I take my shoes off. He goes over, puts his nose in them, and is just breathing it. And I'm like, dude, that's not good for you. And then he'll grab it.
It's all that peanut butter you've been putting on your toes.
Oh, yeah. Shh, don't tell nobody. Come on.
I need a little trophy.
You got some dainty feet.
They are.
You have dainty feet.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so I guess, Japan was unique.
Yeah, it was just pretty sweet, And again, we went there and we only had, what were we there for? Just 2 days?
I think we were there for 3 because I feel like we spent 2 days in the hotel before getting our little capsule room.
Yeah, that was cool. We stayed in one of those.
Y'all Y'all got one of those
Yeah.
the pod rooms.
You had to, man. It's just one of those experiences you gotta.
Oh, it's a cultural thing for sure.
Yeah. And
like you go into their arcades, they'll be like, 10 stories of games and stuff, and at the top there's claw machines and games like that for kids. But like once you get down to like the basement floors, it's just like dudes chain smoking in business suits playing
just
like Tekken
Plinko.
and stuff, and you're like,
Plinko.
Those little marble gambling things.
oh
Yeah.
But
Okay,
they
get this though. We find a place. I don't even, was it karaoke? I don't even know. But they had a little side room, like a little private room, and they lured us in there. And there's how many of us were there? There was a few of us.
Is me, you, Tim, Zane, Zach, and Josh.
So yeah.
Oh, wait, Greg was there, right? Yeah. 6, 7 of us. Yeah. Greg was definitely there. Yeah. Josh wasn't there. Greg was there.
And they tell us, and they're trying to bring us in because like there's a big party of us, and they're like, and I think their thing was like 2 hours.
This was like right near the Shibuya crossing.
Yeah.
Which people don't know is like the busiest crossing in the world.
It's like the New York Times crossing of Japan.
Yeah. Like 1,000 times crazy.
Oh, it's way busier.
And so they're trying to lure us in, and they're like, I think their thing was free drinks till midnight or something like that. Or free drinks till 11, and it's like 8:30, and we're like, what do you mean free drinks? They're like, free drinks. And
like one kind of drink, like anything you want on the menu.
And we're like, there's got to be a catch, but we're in. Like, let's do this. And I think most people probably go in there and they have maybe a few drinks or 2 drinks an hour or a drink an hour. I don't know, but
for most people that like don't know anything about Japan too, like you go in, it's a club, right? When you go into a normal club, you expect to be, amongst people.
Which we thought we were going.
Yeah. So that's what we thought we were going to do. But in Japan, now you go up, you're taking your shoes off at the door, you go in, and then there's just a bunch of like small cubicles areas. So you just are going to hang out with your friends. But
you're with your friends.
The whole club is.
Yeah.
There's no like, common room. There's
no mingling.
You're not walking to a bar to get your drinks. Yeah. It's like
they usher us into
a buzzer.
So they usher us into this little room, and we're like, okay, first round, like let's go. And then like they had left the room to go at, and we're like beep 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 beep. That button didn't stop getting hit, and they honored their thing. They're like, okay. I think they
made a few comments. They're like, you guys are doing good.
Yeah. It's like, oh, empty again. Okay, I guess. And it was wild. It's like, what kind of, I think we found the best deal in Japan that night.
Yeah. I think there had to be some sort of catch that we just didn't get stuck in. We're just fish eating worms off of a hook somehow.
Just enough.
All right. So while he's away, it wasn't endless bottomless drinks, but there was one time when I was in high school, I weighed 130 pounds. Sister was in the hospital. There was a Red Lobster right across the hospital. My dad, brother-in-law, and mom were there. Mom stayed with my sister at the hospital. And Dad's like, it's lunchtime. He's like, I got to eat. Y'all want to go to Red Lobster? And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. I was like, I'm not that hungry. 130 pounds. And endless shrimp was going on. I was like, I'm not going to do endless shrimp. I'm not going to eat money's worth. Dad's like, all right, whatever. And I was like, I want to do endless shrimp. I ended up eating 133 shrimp. The cook goes, how many people are at this table? And she goes, dude, that's just what the 130-pound guy is eating. Like, but
you're like, keep them coming.
Yeah, I was like, roll it. And I was eating the shrimp scampi. I was giving her the juice.
Oh, me and Fatty from Philly used to do the same thing. You just go see who can eat more individual shrimps.
My buddy and I, not too long ago, my buddy Lex, we ended up going to Hooters when they still did all-you-can-eat wings. So we went down to Denver, did some fly fishing. Then I'm like, dude, it's Wednesday. Let's go eat all-you-can-eat wings. I ate 52 breaded wings. We drank 2 pitchers of beer. And I was like, this might be the worst decision of my life. I was like, I am hurting.
That's Hooters done right.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Hooters is never done right. I'll tell you what is done right though. Breakfast in Japan after. I think the next day we went to like a cafeteria style breakfast and just got like some clear broth and udon noodles and it fixes right up, man. We're good to go.
It's funny because we're all in there like trying to order, and it's just businessmen standing with their suits eating, and we're just haggard 6 guys trying to order some noodles. Like,
and it did not help us. If we were all just white, it would have been better. But Tim was there, right? And they would just look at him and be like,
he thought he was in charge of the group.
Like, they would just always would be like, do you have like an English menu, or try to like, you know, they would just look at Tim and point to him and be like, him. He's like, no, me. I'm from Detroit.
I'm with these idiots.
All right. So what is? It can be short. What is the most y'all have ever drank in a night?
Oh,
I don't know. We weren't big counters.
and also, those are the nights I blacked out.
I don't think I've ever fully blacked out in the worst night I ever had. Huh?
And disclaimer, you know, we don't recommend this.
Do not.
No, it's not healthy. Bad for the brain.
Decisions, you know. I wouldn't do any of this again.
But it's part of carrying your torch, right? Like,
Doesn't
we don't
have
make
to be,
that
though,
mistake.
You don't have to.
I've never made that mistake again since that. I learned my lesson.
I don't mind telling fun stories about nights like that, but I don't need to be bragging about how much we drank at one point in time.
I'm not bragging, but mine was hilarious, and that's why I had
that.
that.
Seems like you're bragging, huh?
I'm not.
What is it?
It was
3 Busch Lights?
Yeah, you know. No, it was 2/3 of a handle of Jaeger straight from the bottle. And then
off to a bad start.
I love Jaeger. Dead Nazis used to be my shot of choice. A shot of Rumpel, shot of Jaeger.
Put a good name on top of that, you know?
Yeah.
But it was 2/3 of a handle of Jaeger, and then I had 11 Jello shots. My friends were like, "Hal, you need to go to the bathroom," and I'm like, "Yes, I do."
That's just bad decisions, right from the
dude, it was awful. And I remember they get me in there, and I'm like hugging this toilet, and the seat is up, and I'm just like,
that's when you stop caring.
Yeah, I was just like, and they're like, "No, Hal, get your head off of it," and I'm like, "No." I was like, "Hold it." So we had a doctor at the drop zone.
You're like, if it's good enough for my butt, it's good enough for my feet.
It's good enough for my mouth.
I got yellow flavored Jaeger all through my belly.
It'd be fine. No, but anyways, I was 20 at the time, and everyone's freaking out. Like, we can't take him to the hospital, but he needs to go. But we had a doctor that would always jump at this drop zone, and he had a big, nice RV outside. He stayed in, so they're banging on his door at like 2 a.m, 3 a.m, like, Doc, you got to come check on Hal. He comes in there and has a light. I remember him walking in there, and he's like, turns on the light, looks in my eyes. He goes, "Yeah, he'll be fine. Dumb son of a bitch." Walks out. Doc and I had the best relationship after that. It was fun.
It's a fair statement, though, you know. I think
I was sick for 5 days.
Yeah,
your body will teach you a lesson. That's for sure.
Oh, I learned.
Yeah, especially if you're out rocking the show or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens too.
Just never know.
So, I do want to recap. We're rewinding basically to the beginning, JC, and this is why I didn't want to stop you, because I did want to hear about traveling, because I'm very fond of it. People don't travel enough, so that's why I wanted you to go. I wasn't trying to be stubborn like Ryan thinks. So, anyways. Last event, did you have a point in time? I feel like as professional athletes, I used to be one as well. Did you ever have a point in time? Because I feel like there's always that moment where you're like, we're winning this thing and we're bringing it home. And I know Ryan's had those feelings. I've had those feelings. Have you ever, did that light bulb ever switch on for you?
You know what? I always find it's how the team's playing. You feel the team click into that next gear. And I feel like after the first day we were playing okay, but it just didn't feel like we had the field figured out. Like it still felt like there was, and again, you've already gone to practice, you already started the event, so it's a little late. But I think just the team mentality and like we just started communicating better, and we just our ideas of how we were playing and our meetings went a little bit. And the next day we came out and it was like, oh, okay, now we're playing how this should be played. And I just think that I've had those in the past where events where it's like, oh yeah, fuck, we're unstoppable. I didn't really have that this event, but I did feel like we were playing good enough to give teams a run for their money, because I was like, okay, we're doing it right now. Like now we're going to be tough to beat. Whereas before I was like, were we, and so I think that was the big turning point, that second day, those early matches. And I believe too, we got to play that wild card game. And obviously a lot of times you don't want to play the wild card because, extra game, you could be knocked out, you're up earlier, blah, 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 blah. But that game, we played Distortion, and that was where we just played well. So I guess that was Sunday morning, the first game Sunday morning. And we just played now how we should have played the first 4 games. And it was like, okay, like we're in a good spot.
Yeah, so this event was unique because usually there's like 3 or 4 teams throughout an event. You're like, oh, they could, they're playing the right way. They're playing with confidence. They could easily win this event. Yeah. But this event felt like everyone was faltering at times. Everyone looked beatable at times. And there was more teams playing at a decent level. So it seemed like it was like an open field for it. So like, yeah, like being able to hit that groove and finally feel complete confidence in what you're doing. It's just that, the motivation you need to carry you out throughout the rest of the day.
And I think if we didn't play that wild card game, we might have lost our first game that day and then figured it out, and it would have been like, you would have figured it out after getting knocked out and talking about it. So that wild card game definitely helped us in this scenario. So.
Yeah, and that's easy to say after.
Yeah.
You just never know, because you went into that game playing well, but yeah, definitely you wouldn't change anything now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. What my brain farted. Never mind.
Just never mind. A hard never mind.
Yeah. Hard never mind, because I lost it. Today's been a day.
Well, how many years do you think you got left in this game, JC? Because like, if I know you the way I think you do, like I think you'll run it till the wheels run off, which is another special thing about very few players, is like being able to play at a high level, but also having the mental fortitude to want to keep doing it after you won everything. You've won series, you've won World Cups, you won individual tournaments, you've got MVPs, but in the end, it's just that little kid having that desire to, go and play a kid's game and have fun that can keep you, wanting to do more and, microanalyze the little things because you want to win so bad because you felt winning before, because, nothing after that feels good. So your choices are really to leave or to continue to get better and to continue to push the sport.
Yeah. And I think you kind of hit on it earlier, like without the crazy schedule that we used to play, I think now is a lot easier with kids and family, and like just the amount, that I can play, as far as jobs and life and all that stuff. So it's definitely easier now. I can make practice. We're not practicing 3 weeks before an event. We're not playing 15 events, so that's made it a lot easier. And I've kind of, all the old guys kind of say it, you're going to, the classic play till the wheels fall off. But I think the league and like how we're still all playing at a high level, 10 years ago, I was kind of thinking like, oh, where are these new teams coming in, pushing everyone out? That hasn't really happened to the extent that everyone probably thought it would happen. So, doing well, it'd be a lot different. I'd be sitting here if I was getting 20th every event and it's like, oh, this is a battle, a grind, and then it'd be a lot harder. But
a bunch of the old guys are already quitting and stuff, and then you're just like, now you're doing poorly and like the only dude left. That'd be
then you're like, what am I doing here? But like, everyone's still around. There's so much camaraderie when you show up at events. It's almost kind of like going to see your friends and just playing. If we weren't playing for a trophy, it'd almost be like if we all just showed up and played it, that would be fun, and that's
and we would know,
Yeah.
it would be just as good as a trophy.
yeah, you'd be like, oh,
How many trophies have you won that you've never seen again after that day?
yeah,
Your
exactly.
lips drank a little beer out of it, and then it went somewhere, and it didn't
Yeah.
matter because it's all those memories that
The
matter.
winning and the trophy, I think, are a bonus on top. Just getting to see all your friends that you've been and competitors and people you
and getting to compete against them, with them, whatever.
Yeah.
It's seeing people in their truest form and being able to like still share that experience.
Yeah. And I think once you've done something at the highest level, you don't get the same enjoyment out of it if you're not playing the best, right? If you are the best pool player in the world and you play pool for 10 years against the best, and then the rest of your life you play at your local watering hole, it's not the same because you're not being pushed and you're not, not competing at that same level. So I think that's a big thing to keep playing. It's just like, if you want to keep playing paintball, I don't want to go to the local field and just stomp on people. And like, I want to be pushed, and I want to play people that know what they're doing and can say like, I was the best that day or whatnot.
But if you're at the local field, you want to stomp on people.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't feel as good,
One of the first times I ever went to practice in Edmonton with Impact, Bart's getting out, he's getting dressed to play, and JC's just like bunkering Bart in his like bare head and just like laughing at him, talking shit. I'm like, oh man, like this kid doesn't have an off switch. I love it.
Never have.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I guess I'd like you to touch on that too, because I think something that's unique, not to you but to certain players, is their ability to have a short-term memory. You make mistakes in this game and being able to come back from them. I think sometimes you see people get in their own heads, and that's where they can go on like longer slumps. They'll be less consistent because they start questioning themselves, their own talent, their own decision-making process. And once you're doing those things, you're fighting an uphill battle. But like, for someone like you've always kind of rode the razor's edge of it all. So in those times, sometimes you'll get a call that goes against you, sometimes you won't, and having to come back from that when World Cup last year is a good example. Like, you get that major that kind of ends your guys' tournament where you guys were playing really well, could have went, and that could affect a lot of players and how they are. But like, I know in your mind, like you're thinking at the time, you're not trying to be selfish, you're not trying to do that, you're just trying to do whatever you can to win. So then you also have to be able to like put that aside fast and still trust those instincts, because the same instincts that caused that failure have caused so many successes, and you want to get on the right side of that probability.
Yeah, well, you kind of hit it on the head, right? I've just always kind of trust your intuition and like what it's the reason you got to the level that you got to. Trusting your gut, making the right decisions. If you do that enough time, probability wise, again, if you're making the right decisions, you're going to come on top. So, and everyone's going to do that no matter what you're doing. You're going to make the wrong call sometimes. And I would rather trust my gut and make the wrong call 20% of the time than to not trust my gut and make the wrong call 50% of the time, and not make those big moments when it does count or what it does matter. So, and it's paintball. It's a game. It sucks to lose. It sucks to be the reason you lose. But at the same time, I've always, try to make the best decision. I think that's what everyone's trying to do. So, and that's when you got to kind of trust your teammates, trust your team. When you do make a bad decision or a bad move or whatever it is, you hope your team's there to kind of pick you up. And I think that's what it takes to win a tournament a lot of times. There's been so many times we've won tournaments, even with you. Like, it's like one
even
guy.
With me,
no, I'm just saying. Like,
that's
when you're on the team.
See,
But I'm saying, like, if me and you are playing and I fuck up on one side and I look over and you win the game, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, now next time when you make a mistake, I'm going to win the game for you. And it's
because in both of our minds, it's, we won the game.
Yeah.
Not, I won the game or he won the game. It's, you're a collective unit. And that's why I think it's important to like have those in your mind. Like when you make a mistake, you always feel like you let the guys around you down. So it's like, your responsibility when someone else does that to pick them up right away, to let them know that you have so much trust in them and that, you have their back no matter what. It's like that in life and friendship too. It's like, your friend could do something wrong and you'll still stick up for him.
Like break your jaw. That happens.
Well, yeah. Or just like, out and about somewhere else and like someone else is, getting into it with one of your friends who is clearly in the wrong. It's like, well, I still got my friends back. And then we can talk about it later. But like, you have to pick up, your people and make sure that they're in the right headspace. They're in the right, everything, because you're a collective unit. You're not you're a bunch of individual pieces, but you're a collective unit in all successes and failures.
Absolutely.
Well, it's like battlefield type stuff, right? You're on the battlefield. You don't win the war by one person carrying the shield. It's carry your shield or be carried on it, but everyone has to be doing it, right? And so the reality of that is like, go carry your shield, give it your all, and if you carried on it, you gave it your all, right? Win or lose. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why JC is to this day one of my favorite people I've shared the field with. I've shared the field with a lot of, the best players that have ever played this game. But I like, knowing that, you might die early here and there, but I like knowing that I like the people on the field that I know can be a game breaker and win a game by themselves if things go poorly, right? Mm-hmm. Because in an ideal world, you're all playing cohesively and you're all winning together. But when those pieces fall apart, the more people that you can have and carry people
pull it back in
and pull it back in and make a big swing, the higher your chances are. Because now you're playing good teamwork, you're winning above 50% of the points there. But now all of a sudden you're also winning, more than 50% of the points you should lose. And now you're coming back from everything together. And now, a close game is now a 5-point game. It's now a 6-point game.
I've kind of always said it, like if you're playing paintball and you play a couple games and you never once do you come back to pit and everyone's screaming like hell yeah to you, like for you're not playing paintball right. You got to win some of those points. You got to be the guy, because if every one of you has one of those moments, that's the difference of winning and losing. You need everyone to step up at different times to win a paintball tournament. You can't have just one guy, and some teams look at that one guy and it's too much for one dude to do, especially consistently.
Yeah, I think consistently is the issue with that in all circumstances and all that. And, the ebbs and flow of the game and how, different coaches and teams will play against teams too. It's like you can take one player out of a game fairly easily if you, dictate enough presence to that person and enough attention to them. So you need, that well-balanced attack and, the ability to be explosive out of bad situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and it too, when you play a team and you scout them and you go, hey, we got to watch their snake side. You know what? We don't have to worry about their Dorito side. Mm-hmm. That's your team. That team's not going to beat you very many times if you know that going in, right? Or you play a layout and they're like, hey, these guys haven't figured out how to push the middle. Well, that, just like this last event, right? There was some teams that figured it out and were playing really well. Even teams that weren't necessarily a middle team, they were figuring it out. And then there's other teams that just didn't either have a guy or they didn't think they needed to, and those teams struggled. So,
or if they just even having one guy sometimes wasn't enough in this field because you needed to vary up enough how you played it. Because if you played it any one way too often, there was ways around it.
Yeah.
There was ways you could exploit it. So you definitely had to vary your attack up there. And that was, I think, hard for a lot of teams to do because especially in practices, when you find success in a suitable way to play, sometimes you get too locked into that and don't explore all the other options. And we have to remember when we're practicing, it's not like most other traditional professional teams practicing. We're doing essentially scrimmages. So, we're only getting, if we're practicing two teams, we're getting 2 looks and we're not getting their final finished product. We're getting their exploratory looks. So you're getting, the 2 teams that you play against, the style that they want to play, but you're really just getting them working up to that style while you're working up to your style. And you're not getting a ton of reps, at
how
your
the
best
field
against
should
their
be.
best,
Yeah.
right? And which is why, practices can go on big swings with different teams taking the swings. And if you broke that into individual games, like the course of a practice could go, 60-40 and you're like, oh yeah, we did good. but there's like probably 3 set times in that game, in that day, where you would have got shut out if you were playing a real game for 15 minutes. And it's like, well, how do you avoid that? How do you balance what you're confident in with also knowing that different teams play different ways and different teams can exploit different weaknesses and strengths. And it's, that's what makes sports fun, is because they're not, one noted. There's a lot of nuance that goes into them.
Well, and it goes to the classic, right? Like, I think a lot of divisional guys need to remind themselves is like, you're not there to win practice. And I think a lot of people go out there and they're trying to win, right? They're out there, hey, we won 90% of the time games today. It's like, yeah, but were you breaking down the field? Were you trying different stuff? Were you seeing if plays that you might not work? It's like, and guys forget, it's like, it is okay to lose if you're learning. And it's lost on so many divisional players that I think are just out there to don't get shot, win,
cheat, do whatever.
Yeah.
But these things aren't don't tell your team about getting bounced. All those things matter in practices. But I think the one thing that you mentioned, I agree with, but I also think that it gets leaned on too hard, is the whole like, oh, you don't have to win in practice and I'll lose. Too many times I see teams lose a bunch in practice and then use that as an excuse. Well, we'll do better in the event because we lost. It's like, no, you like you said, you have to be learning that entire time. Like, I've won events where I've gotten the crap beat out of some practice. Like, one that comes back to me is, that Phoenix event. I think we played Ironman beforehand, and they probably beat us more in a practice than I had been beat in a long time. Yeah. And then, we pretty handily won that tournament once we hit our groove. But other times I played practices and won events after I probably won like 95% of the practice points. So there's no hard and fast rule except for be learning, be open to, finding out where your flaws are and what you can improve on, and improving no matter what, if you're winning or losing. We're at these practices. We don't always have the best paint. The other team might not always have the best paint. There's little nuances going on.
Weather.
You might not be playing the people that will eventually be starting in the tournament. They might be playing a short line right away. You might be playing there's a lot of weather. The fact that we have refs. no refs at all. We are squeezing in as much as we can in like a short amount of time. So we're having 9-10 hour days playing paintball, and sometimes the decision making in that 50th point isn't the same as in the third point. And no matter how you look at it, at a tournament, you don't get 50 chances. It's something we get 15 minutes of time twice a day.
Yeah,
and that's it. So
make them count.
You gotta make them count. So it doesn't matter if you won 150 points going into the tournament. It only matters the next 30 you're gonna play sometimes. And that's hard to understand that, and also like not dwell on it too much and overthink the things. That's where I think a lot of players, start overthinking and questioning themselves, because they get in situations where are bigger than what they had seen at practices. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of times when, you see people hesitating, people doing that. And it was one of the arguments a lot of people had at the beginning of this year about not going to like the 5 pods, which, I've been a big proponent for a long time. Reduced paint, I didn't care how many. But everyone's like, well, when it gets down to like low on paint situations now, like the game slows down. I was like, yeah, because they didn't start in that. If we played 8 minutes and we're still 5-on-5 and we're all low on paint, now no one's making the same decision as they were in the first 30 seconds. Because we all understand that like the next death, the next stupid mistake is probably going to cost that team the point. And now that point isn't just a point, it's over half a game. Yeah. So it's the situations that's causing the delay, not the amount of paint that we had.
To kind of point on that, just another, I kind of want to do a shout out to the NXL and to Jay, like Jason, is changing the whole format of the prelims, wanting points for and wanting the plus minus and like that. Fixing that was huge, because now the prelims aren't this like weird, hey, we just need to win. We can win a game 1-0, and it got like, now it's promoting people, like both teams want to play more points. They want to get the 6-0 wins, And even when you get in those tied games, guys are still antsy because they're like, we got to win this so that we can win a couple more.
Mhm.
So you still get that kind of forcing. You don't get that such defensive mindset. And that's been huge in the league. I think it's so entertaining to play and to watch.
I think it's been the best changes they've made in years, and that, coinciding with the limited paint has just extrapolated that. But like what you saw in years past, the rules basically forced you to, play more hesitantly. So if you're down 4-2 with a minute left, most teams want to protect their margin because it was all on plus minus.
Just lose by 2.
So yeah, we're just going to lose by 2. We'll go in, we'll make up for that later, right? Well, now you see teams trying to win those points. And it's you're chasing that, and that's more exciting paintball. I mean, no one's here to watch us shoot gaps and wait till someone makes a mistake or wait till a paintball bounces off something. Like, you want to see explosive moves. You want to see the creative players get rewarded. You want to see people in gun battles and people shooting people in the back of the head.
Well, and like this event might have been it must have been the most points played in any NXL like since the new league started. It's easily right. Like some of those games were like 10 to 8, right? We had 18-point games, 19-point games, like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, and then again too with the paint, like you said, those two rules together are great with
penalty box.
Yeah, you
want the penalty box. I want the penalty box back.
Well, I'm stoked about the less paint because I get to see people using, reasonably sized tanks again. As a front guy, I shouldn't have had to use an 80 tank and carry 11 pods at some World Cups. But like I was forced into that, and I'm practicing with 5 because that's the natural amount. Like it feels like I should need, and then it just changes up from that. But now.
I'm leading the charger now.
You're still using the 45, which I'm stoked about. Yeah. I was a little worried, once they quit rehydroing the old ones for you.
No, mine's savvy at 50.
Oh, I know. And that's I never liked those ones because they're all short and stubby. Yeah. But you got it extended quite a bit.
I tried. Well, I pulled out my 45. I have 2 of them. And I was like, I'm going to get this hydro and I'm going to play it until you pick it up and you're like, this weighs as much as a 68. Yeah, the old ones are just heavy. So I was like, I guess I'll use a stubby with some extenders.
You're right. You are right about the weight, but the size was so perfect.
Oh, it's so good.
And HK still does make the original size 45s because me and Ronnie were about to go back to it even when, the paint limit wasn't like that. So we tried both the 50 and the 45, and like even though the 45 weighed a little more, like man, the size was so nice. So I'd implore you to try that again because that's what you use for 19, 18, 17 years of your career.
Yeah, it's crazy to still people still using like 80s, 77s. Like, what are you guys doing?
Why?
Yeah, I went to 68 with a long rag as soon as I could. I was like, oh, that's nice. And tanks are, like you said, like featherweight now. HK also makes a little 36, which you may be
a little bit. Yeah. Might be a little pushing it.
Boy, huh?
I got one to mess around with. It makes the gun so front heavy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We practiced X Factor the one time, and I was like, I'm gonna use my baby tank for a couple points. And I got in the snake and I shot Billy. I was like, oh, you just got baby tank, dude. He's like, what are you talking about? Ryan Burns is laughing because the tank is like
you can't even put in your arm. It's so small.
No, no, not at all. Like the hardest, like once you're in the snake, not a big deal. The hardest part was running with it. It felt like we were running with like a loader and a barrel and stuff with nothing on the back. It just wanted to fall off the whole time I was running.
Oh, that's good.
But I think you should maybe consider it. I don't want to.
I'll carry 2 of them. One in the pack.
Dude, I think you could do 12 grams. you couldn't get into as many bonus ball situations with people.
Then maybe not.
Yeah.
Gets rid of the fun.
Yeah, you need a little anger in paintball. Like I'm so happy that like it's been years now, but there was a point in time where the league was so soft and like you get a penalty for shooting someone twice. And so I was like, man, let us police ourselves a little bit. Let people get what they want.
Did you hear too last event? People like they got to let that go because people are dead man walking again.
I know. I would never do it because I feel
was that Dynasty against Dynasty?
I don't know.
Did it. Yeah, that one kid who mooned everyone at the
just on fire.
Yeah, he's just a different move kind of guy.
Yeah, but I just think you can't be getting mad at people for shooting people if you're going to allow bonus balling or not. If you're going to give warnings and then you're going to allow dead man's walking, because like If
They
people
do
are
a good
doing it,
job about not giving too many warnings.
but I'm saying if I just point and I shoot a dude walking off right in the neck, and they're gonna be like, come on, dude. But if I'm worried that every single guy walking by me is gonna dead man's walk, like you got to tell the refs, like, hey, I'm gonna shoot every single person. I don't care if they're 2 feet from me, I'm gonna shoot them in the head, and you can't get mad at me. Or get rid of dead man's walk. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it's still in the league.
I don't mind it. I would never do it, but I don't mind that people can do it. Like I do.
Yeah, but it's so dumb. It's such a fucking lame way to.
Yeah, it's like a trick play in football. Like they've done plays like that in like playoff games where like the quarterback's pretending to call timeout because like he thinks the formation's wrong and he's walking toward the sideline, but he's the player in motion, and then they snap it to someone else. It's a trick play. Do I like it? No. Is it lame? Yes.
Yeah, but it's a trick
Because
play.
they
They
allow
still have
us
to
to
do it. The
shoot.
defense is on that. Like, that's like if the trick play
Jesse,
on
I have one
football.
question for you. Do you think anyone would ever be able to successfully pull a dead man's walk against you?
Yeah, I do. Because, like, again, I'm not allowed to shoot people. If I pull my gun, I shoot a dude 3 feet from me walking off the field, I guarantee a ref's going to come up and be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's times and places you got to maybe just keep an eye.
Well, that's
But
how you
I
get.
just
That's how you
picture
get
dead
dead
man's walking when it's like a 1-on-4 and something, and there's no reason that dude should be, without getting signaled out from a ref, be standing up out of his bunker and not being shot when you have multiple guys alive.
I'm just saying, sometimes he walks off and he's walking down. Like, that's how it happens. I just don't
But
think
that also polices itself because like everyone is gonna overshoot the crap out of that kid now, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to, the league's got to
you
do
do have to be able to,
because now the ref,
they're allowing us, like I think, like you said, if you turned and pointed and shot them in their throat or their head from a foot away, that's
what's the difference? What's the difference if I shoot him 30 times down the field or shoot him once in the head 4 feet away?
Don't misconstrue things. I think there's no difference. I'm saying the league will say it's a difference of intent, right? Like I don't necessarily agree with that, but they'll say it's difference of intent. So if that's all they want is I need to riddle them somewhere else a little bit, I'll do that. And then people will stop doing it and you'll continue to do that. And just human nature eventually evens that out because people are tired of, getting overshot a ton unless you got a little bit of crazy in you, which some people do, which is great because those people can dish it out and keep taking it and it's not a big deal. But for players that dish it out and don't like to take it, like they're in for a rude awakening because if you want to keep dishing out, you have to be willing to take it if the league allows that, which if that's what they're doing, I think that's good. I think it makes for a good show. I think it makes for more rivalries. I think it makes for more intensity when top teams play each other, when there's a little bit of FU in the back of people's minds on certain players. Like it just creates a more entertaining story, even though I don't think dead man's walking in itself. Like if you ask me, I think it's a very European thing to do. It's a little soft in a lot of ways. Well,
well, they allowed it forever, right?
Jesus, right?
Yeah, they allowed it forever, and that's how players.
And a lot of people have done it over there. They look for it.
Fushi from what was that team? Considering Day. Like I think it was his favorite thing to do. That and put his shoes on 2 minutes before the game started. But that's just it was like a European thing to do. I don't think it is going to stick in America. It's been allowed forever. I've seen very few successful ones, and every time there is one, there's not another one for a while.
Yeah.
That was the most backhanded thing.
I just don't think you have to put in the rules something to stop something that happens so rarely. Yeah. And I always fear where the rules could lead after that, right? Like, how do you stop that? You're going to make us raise our hands again? You're going to make us wear armbands? Like, those are the real ways to stop it. If you just tell someone they can't dead man's walk, and if it looks like a dead man's walk, now you're putting more power into the ref.
There's for sure obvious, but I get what you're saying.
How many times
there's gray area, right?
How many times have you seen a player get hit, start to walk out, check it, bounce, and then jump back in?
Yeah.
Is that now a dead man's walk? In some ways, yes, because you were basically signaling you were out. Like I just see the issues that way in it, and I don't know. I don't think we should ever fix problems that aren't happening.
And my whole thing is just you can't. If it's gonna stay in the rule book, you just can't get mad at people for either shooting people, whether it's a close, far, bonus, many shots. It's just you can't be as a ref or as a league. You got to be like, he's allowed to shoot you walking off the thing, which then
Free.
causes more chaos. But I don't know.
I agree with you. But I think they are allowing that a decent amount now. So yeah, we will see. We will see. I just don't know. If I want a rule change, I always try to think of how I would want it implemented, and I don't think I have a great solution for that.
To be honest, I did like the hand on the head. I thought that was a good universal rule. I didn't have any problems. I thought it was crazy that they would pull penalties on that, and then then
That's
you get into a weird.
Worried about is pulling penalties on things that weren't affecting the game.
Yeah.
I remember getting a penalty for walking off the field with my hand on my head, taking my hand off my head to get my barrel on my butt, and they gave me a penalty. I was like, "What do you want me to do?" And they're like, "You had to carry your barrel bag on you. You had to have your hand on your head." They're like, "Well, you got to walk into the pit." I was like, "Without my barrel bag on."
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I was like, "Well, that seems ridiculous, don't you think?" Like they were worried about that. They were worried about you pushing your eyes off or on. Like you had to ask a rep. They were worried.
Too many crazy stuff.
It's like once you get refs worried about all those things, they quit worrying about the actual product in the field, and the product in the field suffers.
Yeah, what they should be doing.
The one benefit to the hand on the head thing is I think, a lot of teams nowadays, signal when people are in important spots by running off with their gun up in the air, things like that. I think you can eliminate some of that because that's, does change the course of points in games. And it's like
and some teams do it. Some teams do it religiously.
Yeah, and it's like super obvious with some teams and doing it religiously and getting benefit from it. And they're like, well, we have to stop this. Like, well, we can't do anything about it. It's like, well, now you're forcing everyone to do something like that.
Yeah.
and you're only punishing the egregious ones. So the hand on the head could, stifle some of that. I don't like it because I think it looks soft. For one, and I don't like it because it just exposes ribs to people. So it's like, so if you allow the hands on the head, like, and I shoot someone in the ribs, you're gonna instantly pull a penalty on that. Like that sucks again. Now we're coming back to that. There has to be a happy medium, and I don't know what it is.
You're just scared. You're just scared because you got soft ribs.
Yeah, my ribs aren't soft. My jaw ribs. Never broken a rib. The ribs are good. I'm more scared.
Never broken a rib
for shooting someone else in the ribs. I'm not that a doctor has x-rayed and told me it's been broken.
What?
Injured very badly, but not broken.
Oh, dude.
I only count things.
So many
I only count things.
What are you breaking ribs, Hal? What are you doing breaking ribs?
Wakeboarding, skydiving, military.
But wakeboarding though, like, are you breaking ribs wakeboarding?
Dude, I saw you shatter, explode your knee jet skiing.
Well, yeah, it's because I hit the jet ski, but I'm not hitting the water.
Bro, I used to wakeboard. No, I rode cable.
Oh, so jumps
rails,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
rails,
okay.
Kickers,
Yeah. Never
rodeoing.
Mind. That makes sense.
Horses coming down on my ribs.
JC was not bad for a casual wakeboarder though. He could do some flips and some stuff.
Yeah. Did some wakeboarding. Yeah.
I was more of a wake surfer, but some kind of vibe, I wanted to chill and lay back a little
drink and
when we were in Cincy, I wanted to go ride OWC or Wake Nation. The OWC.
Yeah, across the way.
Yeah. I was like, I could jam out. They got a, what is it? It's a Battleship to Pool Gap, and they've got some really sick stuff out there. I was like,
the last time you were on a board?
A wakeboard?
Yeah.
I was asking how. I assumed you've been a bunch.
Since I broke my leg, I have not actually ever been back on a wakeboard.
Did you break it like while wakeboarding?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you got the fear.
No,
it's okay.
No,
just said fuck it, done.
No. I tried to keep coming back. Came up here for the winter. I was like 6 months on weight bearing. This is that is what they took out of my leg.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 10-inch plate.
Should have kept that in there. That's strong shit.
It was
bionic, man.
It was messing with his nerve core, and sometimes your body just starts rejecting metal. So I hope it never happens to me. I'm part bionic, elbows, jaws, little things.
It looks like a switchblade.
Yeah, it's actually a spoon. Let me see. There you go. That spoon went over my ankle.
Damn.
And they screwed it into my ankle. No, what's crazy is I had a nerve that was running over the top of this plate, causing a lot of issues for me.
So better it out.
Yeah, I had to get it out.
Did you break that in competition or training?
No, just riding.
Just riding.
But so essentially I was 6 months non-weight bearing, got all good. Wintertime, I was like, oh, I'm gonna move up to Colorado for the winter and be a ski instructor. Have fun, ski every day, get paid to do it, whatever. Came up here into March. I was riding. I broke my third metacarpal. So, and I was like,
you don't need that one. It's your third.
Yeah, the third best.
Yeah, you got first. You got first and second.
Exactly, third best.
Yeah. Well, broke it. By the time I was healed, midsummer, it was like, all right. So, stayed another winter. February of the next year, I blew out my ACL, and I was like, I'm just gonna live my life and continue the next journey. I was like,
your body was just falling apart.
Yeah,
I was like, no, this is not fun.
Yeah,
it is not fun being injured. I'll tell you that much.
No, oh man, yeah,
dude. ACLs,
how are you doing?
Oh, I'll be better. It's still torn. It's still healing. But like I went and got it checked out, and they took X-rays. Everything. The hips are good. All the supporting muscles are strong. It's just a bunch of PT and healing. So it's a good time. Like if it was 7-8 days later, so I could play the event, it would have been better. But I'll be probably full speed in a month-ish.
And it's good. We have time, right? This is a big break, so good.
Yeah, but that was hard. It was hard watching that event. It sucks watching, especially that field. Like it looked like I started, played mostly when I was playing the first day on the Dorito side, but I think I would have probably ended up in the Snake too on that field. And I was jealous getting to watch it play out.
You would have been good on that Dorito side too, because there was options. There was chances over there. People just weren't taking them. I think they were
because so much attention was towards the Snake side. People would fall asleep on the Dorito side a little, and it did open up a lot of opportunities. But
that was one of our big changes.
Like I just like playing kind of anywhere. Yeah. It's whatever. One of your big changes was sending a little more over there.
Well, and having eyes over there, right? Because we were playing a lot of heads up, but the heads up didn't have the best eyes on that side. And it was like sometimes by the time you could tell the team, your own team, that guys had got out, it was too late. They were already out and down, and then you're getting shot in the back before you hear your guy call. So we early on had to be like, hey, we need to flip guys. If they get out to a certain spot, our tower guy, we don't need you looking in the Snake. We don't need a second guy in there.
Slow him down from the corner for a little bit if the player wasn't like persistent from a couple spots. But like other than that, you really can only stop that gap out to the wire. Yeah. And then after that, you're just lost. And it was so much fun.
Yeah. So I think guys that were willing to push it, I think did well over there. So I think you would have been good over there.
Yeah, the ground. I thought I'd be able to muscle through it, but it was not cooperating.
That's good. You didn't push it, right? Then you maybe heard it worse, and then
I think that would have been pretty likely based on how it was. It was kind of like seizing up like a lower back injury or something, where it's like I couldn't it was really just a couple of days ago where I could like swing my leg out of my car unassisted. I just had to have like the outside hand on it, or else it would feel like it was like ripping off right. So I'm seeing already positive steps forward. Like I can cough now without it being excruciating. The hardest part there was the ground was pretty bad too. So it's like even for me, like slipping like an inch here or there, it's like all those core muscles,
everything
tightens, and that was just brutal. It was like tearing it all over again every time. Yeah. So I was like, this probably isn't going to work now, but every day it gets a little better. I just got to stay persistent on it. And a couple people were like, oh, you're getting old. It's like, no, it's a soft tissue injury that can happen to anyone. Bunch of unique circumstances. Like I'm good other than that.
I'm gonna get you to jump rope at least. I'm gonna get you to jump rope.
Jump rope's good.
What's that have to do with anything?
Just keep everything a little loose, baby.
Keep things loose. I was It just broke at a bad time, you know. It would have broken on anyone. I'll let JC know. So I was like, you know, running to bunker the D1 out inside on the highway. I was running full speed. I was midair. I was turned, shot him. And right before I landed on my plant leg, like an inch before I landed, you know, one of our dudes wrapped around the W, shot me on that leg, tensed everything up as I landed. So as soon as that leg planted, I just felt it pop in my groin.
Who was it? Did you blame him? Did you like? You're like, hey, you hurt me.
Yeah, they
hurt
knew
me.
It was. No one needs called out. It was an accident, you know. It was like 1,000,000 to 1 shot, just bad timing on my. Yeah, it was no one's fault.
Did you need to be flying Air Jordan through the air?
No, but like, when do you need to do anything? So in some ways, yes, because I think like doing things that are fun for you on the field gives you more confidence, allows you to continue progressing and having fun and pushing the envelope of aggressiveness. Did I need to do it to win that particular point? No. Do I think it helps me mentally for the rest of the points in continuing to build in the tournament? Yes. So that's a tricky question in my opinion. So I didn't need to do it. Looking back, I wouldn't have done it if I'd known I was going to get hurt. But I would do it every time because it's what felt right to do at the moment. It was cool. It felt fun. Like I wasn't doing it for anyone but myself. I was like, oh, this will be fun. Like it's going to surprise that dude. It's going to make him think differently. Like, so I did it. So I landed, it popped. And then Ronnie told me like he was just watching his like, you know, some of his videos for his vlogs when he was making it. He's like, yep, saw exactly when you did it. He goes, and I looked down because I was playing. I was like holding the dude in for you. He's like, as soon as I saw you land, I saw you like stretching and stuff.
You're like, oh, not good.
He's like, that's never a good sign.
Yeah, no one lands on the ground and starts stretching.
No, I was like, ooh, that's not good. So then I was like, hey, I'm going to just play the back a little bit. You know, I played another 10, 12 points and it was not cooperating. So I think I was like limping out to that 4 spot on the Dorito side playing. And then like, if I had to make a move, I was still making it and just being like, this isn't working. And eventually I think I ended up in the snake and, you know, CJ Cantor was coming through the middle and I reacted in.
And then you start moving and weird.
Oh, it's just one move. I reacted in, I felt it pop a bunch more, and then I was like, okay, that's it. Yeah. I'm done, I think. I'm done. But
Send him to the glue factory.
Yeah, send me and put me out. I think I can get a bionic groin by now, you know.
I've been waiting for robot legs. I don't know where they are.
That's crazy.
Come on. What the fuck?
Legs.
Elon's got robot cars. Where are the robot legs?
Yeah, I think I saw the prototypes in Grandma's Boy, you know.
Archer, the TV show.
Yeah.
Krieger legs. Okay. Yeah, this Krieger legs.
Although I don't want robot legs because then everyone has the opportunity to get them. I want people to, you know, live and die by their own muscles.
No, because people would be scared of them first. You got to be the first.
But I'd be too poor to get them.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
No, you got to be. What is it? You got to be a field tester. Ooh. They got to run the guinea pig test.
There you go.
Be like,
sign me up. Yeah.
I don't need them. Give me 3-4 weeks. My groin's gonna be better than ever, and I'm gonna be mid-air bunker and JC at the next tournament.
No way. I'll have robot legs. I'll be too quick for you.
It's a possibility. Part of my plan for you.
JC Giant Hog is gone.
That's a weird thing to say. How? Why would you say
I don't know. Why would I say
that? It's kind of strange. You barely even know him, but okay.
He knows a fact about me.
I had to throw that in there somewhere. Anyways. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Well, everyone's going to be like, what the hell, Hal? And it's just an inside joke between us now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah. So on that fun, awkward note, before we wrap up, what would, Ryan is listening, do we have an intruder or NOLA? Do we have an intruder or NOLA?
I heard you. I thought it was NOLA, but I hope it's not because my wife's trying to sleep for an early shift tomorrow too. So,
well, then this is the time. I was going to lean into this. Before we end the show, I always like to ask Ryan for the guest, what is some dad/life advice you got for anyone that's going to watch this?
Ooh, shit. It's a big question. That's a loaded question coming from a dick joke.
Who said it was a big joke?
Well, he doesn't have any. He's not a farmer.
You could have
He doesn't raise
you could
pigs.
have large farm swine in the back of your yard. Now you've, yeah. But
Well, I don't.
There you go, people.
So, I guess shit, like paintball related or just life or just I guess
Whatever you're feeling. Whatever you're feeling.
I guess my big thing would be just find something you love, whether it's a person or a thing or a hobby, an interest, whatever. Find something and pursue that as we've pursued paintball, and do something that makes you happy. That's why we're here, right? Enjoy it. If you're not having fun, what the fuck are you doing here? So whatever that means and whatever you gotta search for, look for whatever makes you happy and do that.
Well, I love it, man, and love you, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to seeing you here shortly while I'm healthy, and we'll definitely have you back on if you ever have time to do so, because we got barely scratched the surface as always.
Yeah.
But if you can just stay on till right after the intro to make sure everything downloads and stuff, and we'll let you go for the night, brother. Appreciate it.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm out, but I'll take a.
I'm out too. Can't cheers water. So with that, peace.
Well, the whiskey's low and the story's all done, but we sure had ourselves some fun. From tall tales told to the last good pun, you've been rolling with the rowdy ones. Thanks for listening, y'all.